Well, Goody, can you intro our guest today?
Jasmine Drakeford is a human rights activist from Oakland, California. In 2014, she began a YouTube channel in hopes of not only sharing her opinions and gaining a voice, but also breaking the notion that only useful thing Black women on YouTube could share were makeup and hair tips. Amen to that.
Yes.
Her main topics of focus revolve around the various issues plaguing the Black community, and Jasmine's goal is to encourage self-empowerment as well as the ability to empower others. While only 20, she created 2 businesses and is currently on her 3rd. Her ultimate goal in life is to aid in the liberation of Black people in America, but be it through economic struggles, mass incarceration in the justice system, and in society as a whole.
Wow.
Hello.
Not so impressed.
Thank you.
What are these businesses?
One is like actually the T-shirt that I have now.
That says across culture. Sorry, darker people suffer most. Why?
I have a lot of T-shirts that express self-love, love for Black men, Black women, Black children. It's just everything. It pretty much embodies what my whole channel is about.
Nice. It says 3000. Who you quoting?
Oh, this is Andre 3000.
Oh, get out.
Gotta throw a little hip hop in there.
Okay. Nice. So tell us a little bit about like your background and how you even got like interested in this kind of
I grew up in Oakland, California, 2-parent home. However, like my experience at home, like what I see from like Black women and Black men isn't what I saw outside of my home.
Right.
Like once you get into like elementary school, middle school, high school, you hear these things and it's like, well, this isn't a reflection of how I grew up. You know, the things Black men say to Black women, the things Black women say to Black men, what you see on TV, in the media, on Twitter, it just was not like reflecting how I grew up. And so pretty much I wanted to break down those stereotypes of the lack of solidarity, even though there definitely is a lack of solidarity. But I wanted to break down the idea that Black people don't get along, don't do well in life, don't actually care about Black issues, and pretty much just kind of change the whole ideology of like how this generation thinks. You know, we still think on terms of like white supremacy. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to express through my channel.
Got it. And how do you feel? Do you feel like it's getting through?
I do. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from my channel. I mean, of course, there's always those few who don't, who disagree.
Got it. So you're from Oakland, and like that area is like activist heavy. I mean, it has a legacy. Definitely. Did that inspire you in any way?
I believe it did. I mean, I've had this conversation with my mom. She's from Seattle, Washington, and she even tells me constantly, the reason I came to Oakland, like, it's so pro-Black and this and that is diverse. She definitely wanted me to grow up in a diverse area because she did not.
Okay. So you heard us kind of talking throughout the show.
Yeah.
Give us your take on just the relationship, the dynamic between Black men.
It's definitely a situation of perspective. It definitely depends on where you stand on the issue, where you come from, you know, your upbringing. Like, I had a great relationship with my dad. I'm close to my brother. I've always had great like Black male figures in my life. So again, stepping outside of the house, it's almost like culture shock, you know? But at the same time, like my close knit of friends, which are mostly Black males, they would definitely stand with us on this issue. They're definitely like, I love Black women. Black women need to be protected and respected. But again, outside of that, outside of my group of friends, it's a whole different situation. What I see on Twitter, what I see on Instagram, the jokes we like make towards each other, it's just horrible. Like, it's just so much self-hate.
What about like the gender role dynamic? Because I see that a lot online. Like, you know, Black women have become the men in our community.
A lot of Black women kind of have to take on that role because a lot of Black men aren't present. And it's not always at the fault of Black men. When you even go into the topic of mass incarceration, the justice system, the way Black men are criminalized, when you ask where are the Black men, they're being taken away from us. So we have no choice but to fill that role. And then when they come back, they're going to feel emasculated because their woman has the job, is bringing in the money, is taking care of the children. And then that kind of gives them a little bit of an inferiority complex, you know? And it's not our fault. We're not going to like bring ourselves down just to build you up. I mean, we're going to try to help build you up, but we can't put you up there. You got to help us, you know?
So you kind of heard some of our experiences. Have you had any kind of negative encounters with Black men, like someone trying to tell you what you need to do as a sister?
Well, online, there's the one that I'm sure all of us have heard, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl, or you're pretty for a black girl. It's like, you can't just say
pretty
I'm
for
pretty.
an African.
Yeah, like, you can't just say I'm pretty. Like, why do you have to add the extra, you know? I've also experienced a little bit more since I have put myself out there via YouTube, because I had a video called "Get It Together, Black Men," and I wasn't bashing black dudes or nothing.
Wait. So first, let's talk about what was in the video primarily.
The video was based off a tweet, because sometimes I just go on Twitter rants. You know, I said, I'm sick of black men who disrespect black women while praising white women for their black features. And I explained what I meant by that, how white women and other race of women will like pay for features that we already have, but then at the same time still bash us for having this, like, oh, your lips are too big, your butt's too big, your hips. So I was pretty much getting on the black men, and I had to say multiple times, not all black men, because again, the black men I grew up with and I surround myself don't do that. But outside of my home and my friends, I hear it all the time. And so that was pretty much the premise of the video. And most of the feedback, like the negative feedback I got from black men, weren't even directing it at the black men disrespecting black women part. They were just, oh, what are black features? Oh, stop hating on white women. Da-da-da. And I'm like, you're sitting here praising Kylie Jenner for her lip injections, Kim K for her butt injections, and it's like, it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
It's super frustrating because they don't get it. You know, they just
Clueless.
don't get it. They're
clueless.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And again, it's not all men. Just like the feedback I got was like the positive feedback came from black men and black women, and they definitely appreciated the fact that I said not all black men. Yeah, and then it also like got on World Star too. I didn't even want to see. I didn't even want to see those comments. I refused to even look at those comments because World Star is a whole different
World
Star is probably the group,
the behemoth of this shit.
Exactly. And then the other day, I actually had a friend. He said he wasn't intimidated by me, but he was like, I can see a lot of guys being intimidated by you.
I hate that. I get that too.
I feel like it's a combination of my appearance as well as my mindset, you know? And I mean, my response is the type of guys that would be intimidated by me aren't the guys that I even want. So,
especially when you're like, again, you have like more of an African phenotype, or like you're dark skinned, and you embrace like your natural beauty and you stand in that with comfort, and then you speak articulately with clear, diction, you know what you're talking about, you feel comfortable with what you're saying. It rocks someone that is not comfortable.
Because it's so, well, I don't want to say it's uncommon, but it's so uncommon in mainstream society, you know? So while like a regular white woman could be happy and comfortable with herself, if I'm like the same level of comfortable, it's like me being like radical militant, like, oh, I'm black, da-da-da. It's like I don't even have to like express it like to that extent for you to still be intimidated. It's just because you're not used to it. You're not comfortable with it yet. And for me, it's like, get comfortable, because I'm not about to change it, you know? Like, you have no choice here.
Right.
Exactly. But what are some ways you think can, like...
Therapy. I'm dead ass.
Bring us together. And I won't even say a remedy, but just have, like, encourage more healthy conversation.
Even just on like a very small level, like when my friends come over, we talk about this type of stuff. Like, we don't really even talk about, hey, did you see that thing on Twitter? Like, no, we talk about literally these type of situations. Right. And I feel like the reason why there's so much disconnect with that, when we have these discussions, is usually all women or all men in the barbershop, or women's having a girls' night, and then it only takes like a second for that to turn into like male bashing, female bashing. So if we were to like bring us together in a civil manner, I feel like we can actually get somewhere. But it's so hard when our perception, for the most part, of each other isn't coming from our interaction with each other. It's coming from like the media. And again, those aren't people of color showing what people of color are like. These are white people telling us what Black America is all about. So,
and so no one wants to say they're black anymore too. Like the new black. I'm mixed with this. I'm mixed with that.
Right, check it for your Cherokee. Get out of here.
Why does your white blood have to validate your beauty?
Right. I remember this Nigerian guy didn't believe I was Nigerian. He was like, is someone mixed in your family? I was like, yeah, I'm mixed with black and black.
That is my line. He and my sister say the same thing every time.
It's like, and what
else? Why does gotta be something else?
Gotta be something else.
Right? Like, get out of here with that. Like, go.
All right, that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh man.
What I also noticed online too are these like Tariq Nasheed Tommy Sotomayor type.
Don't
No,
even get
because
me started.
people listen. Yo, do you know how many guys told me to watch The Kid in Colors, that movie that he made? And then what's the other one? Umar Johnson's another one that a lot of people listen to.
Tommy Sotomayor actually reposted my Get It Together Black Men video.
Who?
Tommy Sotomayor is how you say his name?
Crazy.
He reposted it on his channel, and I think he was trying to get me to do like a one-on-one with him or something. And honestly, like, I can never get all the way through his videos because I'm just like,
he's a fucking idiot.
I gotta get out. Like,
he hates black women. He's always complaining about what his
black male.
Darkest
yes.
night. And like the comments, yeah, brother. Yeah. You know, we got to get rid of these black witches, and you know what I'm saying?
It's so bad. Like,
I'm done with the sisters.
It's female
feel me?
black bashing central. Like, if
Bitch
if you want to see how much America hates black women, go to his channel and go to his comment section. Like, it is. Oh my god!
I didn't know he existed up until this point. I will.
Don't raise your blood pressure. Don't even check it out. Don't even
clickbait. No way.
But do you think that these so-called figures are impacting the relationship between
them?
us?
They definitely are, because he has a pretty substantial following.
Yes,
you know?
He does.
And
Millions.
I'm assuming the majority of them are black men and
losers.
Yeah,
that's what they are to me.
Really,
losers.
someone like him would be who I would love to challenge and have a fishbowl conversation with his base, because that's who we need to reach. So instead of ignoring the million people that that sadly follow him, that's who we need to invite into the space.
That was my mindset when he contacted me. Like, he contacted me through Twitter.
It's a setup.
And DM.
Don't do it.
I was thinking that, but then when I was like, okay, let me go check out some of his work, and I'm looking at his responses to how black women respond to him. Oh, this black bitch, this dog. Da, da, da. I'm like, we can't even have a civil conversation. So what is know, you make it that much. You obviously don't even care about the other perspective, the other side. You just have your opinion, and then your followers who agree with you. Anyone else is an idiot. I feel like it was a setup. I feel like he was probably gonna try to roast me or something.
Of course.
No.
Of course.
I would have roasted him right back.
Dude is crazy, man. Get out of here. It makes me, I don't want to say feel helpless, but it just feels so big of an issue. How do we, as black people who are aware and know that this is a propaganda machine pushing this kind of negative information, how do we even combat this? Or should we just pursue it in small steps?
Yeah, I think it's all about communication and patience, because every person who is considered conscious or woke, we weren't always like that. We had a point where we actually
I was brainwashed a bit.
We had a point where we once believed in European beauty standards and all of that. So it takes time. I mean, for me, I kind of got more into this side around maybe 14, 15, when I got into high school. So, everyone reaches that point at different times. I feel like you have to encourage them to find the information on their own, to want to become knowledgeable. For me, it was a teacher who helped me. I'm an African American history teacher in high school, and it wasn't just him telling me, you need to know this is that, blah, blah. He encouraged me to read certain books. He would say, go do some research on this event in history. And then I'm reading it and I'm like, oh. So it's he's not telling me what to think. I'm coming up with my own point of view. So I feel like that's what we need to do.
What do you guys think about, and I hear this a lot, people who say that black women need to adjust their standards because of the realities of what black men are going through?
Well, you know me. I say F that. So I'm not going to settle for something that it's not what I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like your standards when it comes to your partner should be also based on what you can bring to the table. I feel like there are a lot of black women out there who do say, oh, my man needs to do this, and that, but they don't really do much themselves. So it's you're trying to hold this person to this type of standard, but it's realistically, we find that person, he's not going to want somebody who's like you, who doesn't have much going for themselves, isn't really goal-oriented or whatever.
To be an equal counterpart.
Exactly. You have to have something to offer just as you want that person to have something to offer to you, reciprocity. That's just how it's supposed to work.
Reciprocity. Great way to end this. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thanks
for coming
having me. I had a lot of fun.
No, this was great. Good. I'm glad. This was a great discussion.
Yeah.